If your image of Nevada is all glitz and glamour, luxury resorts, world-class entertainment, and the neon glow of Las Vegas, it's time to broaden your perspective. Beyond the dazzling strip lies a state of stark contrasts, where not every city thrives under the desert sun. Many communities grapple with daily challenges: rising crime, high unemployment, limited public services, and sparse transportation networks. As we journey through Nevada's vast, arid landscapes, we'll uncover the cities often labeled as the worst places to live. What puts them on this list? And what stories do they tell about life in the Silver State? But first, a surprising fact: Nevada doesn't have many cities to begin with. Why? Because a staggering 81% of its land is federally managed. This includes military bases, natural resource sites, recreational areas, and endless stretches of open grassland. What defines a small town in Nevada? While there's no strict definition, small towns here are typically identified by two key factors: a low population and limited public facilities. In Nevada, a town is often considered small if it has fewer than 50,000 residents. These communities often lack the infrastructure and services found in larger cities: fewer schools, healthcare facilities, shopping centers, and government offices. Tonopah, a faded silver lining. Once a thriving silver mining town, Tonopah now holds the unenviable title of Nevada's poorest and most desolate city. The median household income here is just $33,144, a far cry from the state average of $62,350. Nearly 20% of its residents live below the poverty line, compared to Nevada's overall rate of 12.2%. Despite a relatively young population with a median age of 32, Tonopah struggles with high unemployment. The lack of access to quality education and job training programs makes it difficult for residents to secure better opportunities. Compounding these issues are persistent challenges with substance abuse, particularly drug and alcohol addiction. With a population of just 1,660, comparable to Brookside, New Jersey, Tonopah feels more like a forgotten outpost than a bustling community. Ely, a town built on copper and resilience. Next, we head to Ely, a small town with a rich history. Originally a stagecoach station along the Pony Express route, Ely boomed after the discovery of copper in 1906. Though the mining industry has seen its share of ups and downs, Ely has managed to preserve some of its historic charm. Attractions like the Nevada Northern Railway Museum, offering scenic rides on historic steam trains, and the iconic Hotel Nevada and Gambling Hall, once the tallest building in the state, keep Ely's past alive. But Ely's reliance on copper mining has left it vulnerable to economic shifts. When copper prices crashed in the mid-1970s, mines closed, dealing a devastating blow to the local economy. Adding to its challenges is Ely's geographic isolation. With just 3,898 residents, access to essential services like healthcare and public transportation remains limited. While the town has a public library and is part of the White Pine County School District, its remote location makes everyday life a struggle for many. Pioche, a legacy of silver and struggle. Nestled about 290 kilometers northeast of Las Vegas, Pioche was born in 1864 with the discovery of silver mines. But its early years were marked by conflict as settlers clashed with local Native American tribes, forcing them to abandon the area. By 1868, tensions had eased and people returned. By the early 1870s, Pioche had become one of Nevada's most significant silver mining towns. During its heyday, Pioche earned a notorious reputation as one of the Wild West's most violent towns, a place where lawlessness and gunfights were part of daily life. But as the silver boom faded, so did Pioche's fortunes. Today, the town's geographic isolation and lack of economic diversification have left it struggling to keep pace with the modern world. Limited access to healthcare, education, and job opportunities has made Pioche an unattractive destination for new residents and investors alike. With a population of just 1,129, Pioche feels more like a relic of the past than a thriving community. Winnemucca, a town in limbo. Next, we visit Winnemucca, a town of 8,214 residents that often finds itself ranked among Nevada's least desirable small towns. As the county seat of Humboldt County, Winnemucca plays a key administrative role, but its economy remains narrowly focused, relying heavily on agriculture and government services. The town's poverty rate stands at 14.5%, 4% higher than the national average. While the median household income of $67,574 is nearly identical to the national median, almost 37% of households earn less than $50,000 per year. Unemployment remains a persistent issue, and economic opportunities are scarce. Winnemucca's remote location discourages new investments, leaving the town with insufficient public services, including hospitals, schools, and public transportation. These challenges continue to shape the daily lives of its residents, making it a tough place to call home. West Wendover, a gamble on the border. Finally, we arrive at West Wendover, a small town perched on the Utah-Nevada border. Adjacent to Wendover, Utah, this community offers a quieter alternative to the bustling casinos of Las Vegas and Reno. In the early 1990s, West Wendover experienced a period of economic growth, but today its population has dwindled to just 4,493. Most residents either work in casinos or are already retired. Social and demographic challenges further hinder West Wendover's progress. Its remote location makes it difficult to attract investment in essential services like healthcare, education, and transportation. Much of the town's infrastructure is outdated, and crime is a significant concern. The overall crime rate is 20% higher than the national average, while the violent crime rate is a staggering 124% above the norm. Fallon, a town rooted in struggle. Nestled in Churchill County, Fallon is a town that often finds itself on lists of Nevada's most troubled small communities. Home to 9,659 residents, Fallon's economy is heavily reliant on agriculture, a sector that has limited its growth and diversification. With few industries to speak of, job opportunities are scarce, and household incomes remain low. These economic challenges are compounded by inadequate infrastructure and public services. Many residents face limited access to quality healthcare, schools, and transportation, making daily life a struggle. Fallon's geographic isolation only adds to these difficulties, as essential services and resources remain out of reach for many. Searchlight, a flicker of the past. The name Searchlight might evoke images of brightness and hope, but the reality is far darker. This small town is plagued by a crime rate 26% higher than the national average, and a staggering 32% of its residents live below the poverty line. The median household income is just $27,000 per year, 51% lower than the U.S. average. In the early 1900s, Searchlight was a booming mining town, bustling with over a dozen saloons, a telephone exchange, and 44 active mines. The discovery of gold drew thousands of fortune seekers, transforming Searchlight into a thriving community of more than 5,000 residents. But those golden days are long gone. As mining declined, so did the town's fortunes. Today, Searchlight is little more than a ghost town, with a population of just 234 people, a stark reminder of its once vibrant past. Why are these towns declining? The decline of Nevada's small towns is driven by a combination of factors. The collapse of key industries such as mining and agriculture has left many communities without stable economic foundations. A lack of diversification means that when one industry falters, there are few alternatives to sustain the local economy. Geographic isolation further compounds these challenges. Limited infrastructure and access to public services, such as healthcare, schools, and transportation, make it difficult to attract new residents and businesses. Government policies also play a role. Strict regulations and slow economic reforms often hinder the growth needed for these towns to adapt to modern economic shifts. Many local governments fail to address the changing needs of their populations, prompting younger generations to leave for larger cities. This exodus only accelerates the decline, leaving these towns to grapple with an uncertain future. From Fallon's agricultural struggles to Searchlight's faded mining legacy, these towns tell a story of resilience in the face of adversity. They may not shine as brightly as Nevada's larger cities, but they are an integral part of the state's identity, a testament to the challenges and triumphs of life in the Silver State. As we continue our journey, we'll explore more of Nevada's hidden stories, uncovering the forces that shape these communities and the people who call them home.